All right, let's dive into one of the absolute coolest parts of coding your own graphics, making them actually do stuff when you interact with them. We're going to go way beyond just drawing static pictures and build something that can react to your mouse clicks. So, how do we even do that?
You've probably been there, right? You're coding, you draw this perfect shape on the screen, and you just wish you could, click on it to make something happen. I mean, think about it. How does a video game know you clicked on a button and not the sky behind it? That's the exact puzzle we're going to solve today. So here's our mission for this explainer. We're going to build a simple program with two rules. One, if you click on a circle, it gets bigger. And two, if you click on the empty background, a totally new circle appears right there. It sounds pretty simple, but trust me, this is the foundation for almost any interactive app or game you can think of.
Now, to figure out what we clicked on, we need a special tool. So, let me introduce you to HitTest. This thing is like a detective for your code. You just give it the X and Y coordinates of your mouse click, and it does all the work for you, telling you the exact shape that was at that spot. It is the perfect tool for this job.
Okay, let's see HitTest in action. First, we'll make a group to hold all our circles. Then, inside our mouse press function, we run this one really important line. Target equals g.hitTest mouse x mouse y. Whatever shape we clicked on, if any, gets stored in that target variable. Simple as that.
So right now, our logic is pretty straightforward. Step 1, the program gets the click coordinates. Step 2, HitTest tries to find a shape there. And Step 3, if it finds a shape, we make its radius bigger by 10. Works great, but what happens when we miss?
And this right here is where a lot of coders get stuck when they're starting out. Our code is perfect if we click on a circle every single time, but what about our second goal, handling clicks on the background? What does HitTest even do when there's no shape to return? What does our target variable get? Let's see what happens if we just ignore that question. So without any kind of safety net, our code is basically a ticking time bomb. When you click the background, HitTest finds nothing, so the target variable isn't holding the circle. But the very next line of code just blindly tries to change target.radius. The program is literally trying to change the radius of nothing, and that's where everything breaks.
And boom, the program just crashes. You get a big red error message because you can't ask for the radius of something that doesn't exist. Now, this is a super common bug, but the good news is, once you see what's happening, it's actually really easy to fix. The whole key is understanding that special value HitTest gives you when it misses.
And that key is a special value in Python called none. You're going to see this everywhere. Think of it as Python's official word for nothing. It's not the number 0, it's not an empty piece of text, it's its own unique thing that just means the absence of a value. And this is exactly what HitTest gives us when our click doesn't land on a shape.
And the reason is pretty logical, right? The function has to return something. So when there isn't a specific shape that makes sense to return, it just gives you none. It's the function's way of saying, hey, I looked for you, but I came up empty.
So how do we use this new knowledge to fix our code? It's so simple. We just add one check. Instead of blindly trying to change the radius, we first ask the question, if target did not equal none. This little line tells our program only try to change the radius if our target is actually a shape, not if it's none. This one line is the difference between a crashing program and a solid one.
Okay, so now we know how to avoid the crash when we click on the background. That means we can finally build the full solution, the one that handles both a hit and a miss to get our program working exactly the way we want.
And the secret weapon here is the classic if-else statement. It's perfect because it lets our program make a choice between two different paths. If our target is a shape, we do one thing, increase its radius. Else, which means the target must be none, we do the other thing, create a brand new circle.
So let's just break down the full logic one more time. A click happens. HitTest checks for a shape at that spot. If the result is a shape, it grows. If the result is none, a new circle is born. That single if-else block makes our program smart, responsive, and crash-proof.
Awesome. Now that you've totally mastered the core logic, I want to show you a little pro tip. This is a way to write this exact same program, but with even less code. It's cleaner, it's faster, and frankly, it's how a lot of experienced coders would do it.
Let me introduce you to app.group. Think of it as a default master group that's just always there in your app. You don't have to create it or anything. The best part is, any shape you make is automatically added to this group behind the scenes, and that is a huge shortcut.
Now, check this out. This is a real game changer.
Look at the code on the left, that's what we were doing. We had to create a group called G, then add our circles to it, and then test G. But with app.group, we just create circles. That's it. They're already in app.group automatically, so we can test for clicks with app.group.hitTest right away. No extra setup required.
What's the result? Well, you've got less code to write, an easier to read program, and the exact same awesome result. In the world of programming, that is always a huge win.
So let's just do a quick recap of the new superpowers you've just unlocked. You now know how to use HitTest to figure out exactly which shape a user clicked. You know the critical step of checking for none to make your code totally crash-proof. You can use if-else to create really powerful and responsive logic. And, the pro move of using app.group to keep your code clean and efficient.
You now have the fundamental building block for making anything you want interactive. Buttons, characters in a game, dynamic charts, literally anything you can imagine. The core logic is always going to be the same. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build first?